Mr. Irontrader, it is Tuesday morning. So we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. We'll take a look here at the NQ, which is ripping up 150 today. Nicely. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, sell any stock, market, ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. Now, yesterday I sold out some of that BITX nicely because today, look at that big topping tail that we had, okay? Now, important now, see these blue lines are just price channels, okay? Now, when the price gets outside those channels, it wants to come right back in. So that's what we're happening today, okay? So if we look at here, like in the past, let me just give you a good example there. So you can see here when it wants to get outside that channel, it wants to come right back in. Outside, it wants to come right back in and towards that 8-day. Okay, so right now here we had that topping tail yesterday, and now what we did is we had this big red candle. Okay, now what we're watching on the downside, we're watching this 116,660, that's today's low, and then we're going to come right to the bottom of this candle here, 115,635. Now that's the gap, okay, and then we want to watch the top of that candle at 114,380. So okay, so you have your gap, and then we have your fill, and then we have this 8-day at 113,655. Then we have to see what the reaction is once you get down there. That could be a good buying opportunity to take it back. Now, just because we have a topping tail, that doesn't mean the trade is over, okay? It just means that right now I said that was the time that you wanted to sell at least some portion of your, I sold half my position into that trade there, okay? So what we have here is we're watching here on the upside here. What we need to do is we got to go look at the bottom of this candle right here, 118,675. Then we want to look at the top of that candle, 119,450. Then we look at today's high, okay, at that 120,695. Then obviously your big retest there at 123,615. If you crack above that, you're going to go to that 125.5 area because that would be the this inverse head and shoulders pattern. That would be the top of that pattern. Left shoulders, head, and right shoulder. That would take it up to about 125.5 level, okay? But right now here, we're looking here, topping tail, red candle. Let's see how it shakes out for the day. Now, you can see here on the RSI here, we got a little bit to the overbought condition, coming off a little bit. Your green is still over your red. So again, I say we got to see how this all going to shake out here. Now we could have the sideways action here, which would be good. Let that 8-day catch up a little bit. And really, it'd be good if we actually filled this gap here, okay? That would be good. So always just watch that bottom of that candle, that 115,635, because that's going to be a nice, good support level. That's your gap. And then we look to the top of that candle, 114,380 for the fill, and then we have your 8-day, okay? So a lot of good trading here, okay? But you got to remember, this is also a trade here. It's not going to run forever. Now, here on the weekly chart here, well, you can see here, put that topping tail in here, but again, this is only Tuesday. We have to see what happens all the way by Friday, okay? So really by Friday, at least we want to hold this level right here, this 112,345 level, and definitely want to hold that 8-day at 109, 164 level. So let's just see how this all shakes out, but we have that topping tail, so always watch these charts here, okay, because that's going to be the key to trading. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Okay, here we have gold, here we have silver. Okay, so here's a perfect example of a topping tail. See that? See how that was? And then what happened? Okay, she sold right off. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to come back here. A lot of times they'll retest that area. But again, when you have the topping tail, that's usually a sell kind of a signal. Okay, so here we have here the old gold. Okay, now you can see here where we just have kind of like an inverse head and shoulders here on there. See how we have this left shoulder here, and then we have the right shoulder. We have this bottom going on here. Okay, see right here. Okay, now we're just kind of straggling this all the way on out here, okay? So as we ran up high here, we came all the way on down here, then we put that bottom in, and then we have this sideways action. Now we're hanging right around this all the simple moving averages. It doesn't seem like it really wants to go one way or the other. So on the downside, what you're really watching is this right here is this 21-day, 33.57, okay? That's going to be key. Then we have that 8-day, 33.42, and then we have your 50-day at 33.36. So everything is pretty much jammed up right there, okay? But again, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, to see if it can play out, okay? Now, if we start losing these simple moving averages here, then we'll be looking here to the bottom of the candle, 33.19. We'll come down here, 32.95, 32.90 level, and we'll come down here at 32.66, and then we retest at 33.50 and possible 100-day at 32.15. But right now, this is just looking good. It's just like a sideways kind of an action. So what we're watching here on the upside is obviously we're going to be watching yesterday's high. That's at 33.89 level, okay? So if we can get about it, we were looking at this candle here, 33.85, 33.89, you came in within 4, okay? So now if we get above that, we just follow the candles, okay? 34.05, 34.13. We'll come up here. We got 34.22, 34.27, 34.68, and your big retest and your big target is going to be that 34.76, and then we'd have to see what the reaction is going to be once you get there. Does it double top? Does it blast through and aim for that 35.09, or does it just just stay right here, kind of a situation? Now we have this sideways action. You can see here where the RSI is only at 53, so this is sitting right in the middle. So when this takes off, you have plenty of room to run either way. Okay. Now on the MACD, we have a little cross on the green, shows momentum there to the upside, which we have a nice good series of going on here. Okay, so not today so much, but we had this series of nice higher highs and higher lows today. So let's just see how this shakes out. So really watch that 21-day, very, very key, and that 8-day and that 21-day on the downside. On the upside, just watch yesterday's high, 33.89. We get above that, all our targets on the upside are right there, your resistance levels, and your big target is going to be that 34.76. Now, silver. Okay, let's see what old silver here. Okay, so we had that nice, good candles going on right here. Okay, had that bull flag situation. Nice sideways action, and look how nice it's holding that 21-day. Okay, very, very nice. Now, we had that rip up here, and yesterday what we do is we put that topping tail in again. Okay, so I have no position in gold or in silver here. Okay, but I'd be waiting. If we have, like say on gold here, if we can get above and close above this 33.89, then I would jump into GLD, and then we could aim for that 34.76. But right now I have no position. Now, here we're looking at, here we put in a little bit lower low than we had yesterday. Yesterday's low, we had that 38.35. Today we have that low of 38.19 level. Now we start losing that, then we're going to come right to the top of this candle here, 37.69 level. We look here to this 8-day at 37.65, and then we have that 36.87 level, which is your 21-day. But look how nice that's holding that 21-day. So you got to respect the 21-day because how it held it in the past. So even if it comes down, still respect it because of all this. Okay. Now on the upside, we're looking at today's high, 38.74 level. We'll come up here, 39.22, and then obviously your retest at 39.57. You crack above that, you're going to go to 40, 42, and then head towards that 45 level. Okay. But right now here, we just have this sideways action, which isn't really what you need here because we had this a little bit overbought condition, and now we're coming down. But again, you can see the strength that's going on here in the silver, okay? And the green is over your red, good momentum there. So again, be a little bit patient here. Now, if this comes down here to this 8-day and holds that 8-day, then I would be a buyer of that and then take that right back up again, okay? Now, again, if we break out above 39.57 and close above that, then I'd also be a buyer on strength and take it up higher. Okay, let's take a look at crude oil and natural gas. Okay, here we have crude oil, natural gas. Okay, old Crudeski here, okay? So you can see here, we had this big pull down here. We had a good bear flag building, but it didn't kind of just rallied right on up. But look how strong that 200-day is, okay? See, it's like birds sitting on a wire over here, okay? See that? Went right into it, popped above it, but you notice that here, this is the day that we closed above it. But again, yesterday we just could not do it. It had a topping tail here, and now we have this lower low situation. So if you look at the upside, what you're looking at is 67.59. Okay, that's going to be key. We have your 21-day at 68.18. Then we have that badass 200-day sitting at 68.36 level, okay? So this is very, very strong resistance. Now, we get above that, then we're going to be looking for this level right here, 68.94, and obviously yesterday's high at that 69.65 level, okay? So what we're looking for here on the left-hand side, 69.56, so we went just a little bit higher, but you notice that it could not hold that situation, okay? So now on the downside, you want to look at today's low, 66.27, but realistically, what you're looking for is 65.31, 64.70, and then we're looking for the 64 flat, which is the bottom of that candle, okay? So right now, we just have this sideways action. You can see the RSI isn't doing nothing. We're just sideways. Same way here with the old MACD. Now, remember, the API numbers for crude will be out today at 4:30. I'll have those for you there first thing tomorrow morning. So again, we got to see how this all shakes out. But look how strong that 200-day is, okay? Even though you popped up, you just could not get and close, have a nice good close and carry that close up higher, okay? So again, on the downside, watch that 100-day, 50-day, and that 64 level. Upside, we want to watch that 8-day, 21-day, and that key 200-day. Now again, if you can get above, say this level is 69.65, well, then we have a nice target up here. Look at the bottom there, 71.33, 72.32, and then we come up here, 73.90, work your way up, 74.27, come up here, 75.74, and then we have obviously a retest up there at 78.40. Okay, but let's just see how this all shakes out. What crude needs is a good catalyst to go to the upside, because now, remember, come on, starting in August here, OPEC is now going to increase it from 411,000 barrels to 548,000 barrels per day. They're going to be adding onto the market. Okay, Now, here we have the old natural gas. Now, you can see here, we kind of broke that downtrend. Okay, so we had this topping tail. See how those topping tails work? Comes right on down, rallied up a little bit, but all the way on down here again, and we're below the 8-day. Now we're back above that 8-day. Okay, so we're hanging right around this 200. So 343 is going to be key. We get above it, we go to yesterday's high at 349. Then we're looking for that 50-day at 353, and then your 21-day 354. Then obviously that 367, which is your 100-day. And then we can come up top of this candle, looking at 375, and then we'll be looking for this 384 level. Okay, but you got to get above the 50, 21-day, 100-day, and everything to do all that. Okay, so that's going to be, not very easy. So here on the downside, what you're watching is going to be watching this 8-day. Okay, so that 8-day was curling up very, very nicely. Now you can see she's on the downside. So this is going to be very, very key support. It's going to be the 3.37. If that is lost, we'll come right to the bottom here. You're looking at 329. We'll come here, 319, and then obviously your retest at 3.14. We lose this area, you're going to come 310, and then we have this gap, okay, 305, 298. Gap, fill, and then the bottom is 286. But right now, sideways action. We have an inside day so far, so let's just see how this all shakes out. Seems like with this heat that people were just kicking on those air conditioners, the power plants would be going. But again, natural gas just isn't kind of really reflecting it, okay? So again, watch that 200-day, very, very crucial, okay? On a closing basis, you want to get back above that so we can aim for that 50-day and 21-day. On a downside, at 8 days, everything, we start losing it. We're going to follow the candles out and maybe even a big retest. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old NQ. Okay, this is a NASDAQ futures, and they all look the same here. If you look at the NASDAQ futures, Dow futures, S&P, I just picked the NASDAQ, okay? So you can see here now we're breaking out above here of this key price channel at 23.12, okay? That's the key level that we needed to get above here. Now we made a high today of 23.192 already. Now, again, you could go up here, you're in the unknown here now. This could fly right on up here, okay? So we don't know where it's going to go. Okay, so what we're watching on a closing basis, and we're watching that 112 level, and we're watching this 8-day, okay, at that 23.01. We lose that, we're going to come down here to yesterday's low. You're looking at 22.803, and then we have your catch-all down here, your 21-day at 22.589. We've got to respect it because it's held here all the way down in the past, okay? But right now, we're trading right here between this 8-day and this price channel. So we got to get above that price channel. Just because we're up here about 142, that doesn't mean it's going to hold there all day. But we've got to see here with the old turnaround Tuesday. Okay, so now what we're looking for is a high of 23.192. You push that up here, well, hell, you could take us all the way to 24,000. I mean, nobody really knows. Okay, so we got to just see how far it runs right on up. Now, you can see we got to an overbought condition, came on down, but you can see the strength in this, okay? So you look at the strength that's going on here. That's what RSI measures, but I also look for divergences, overbought scenarios, and all that. But we just have a good consolidation area here, okay? See how this ran right on up here? This was your buying opportunity. And then we had consolidation, and then consolidation just kept on going higher. And now it looks like we're going to be breaking out of this consolidation. See how we had here? And then we just jumped up, okay? Jumped up, and then now it looks like we might be jumping up here again, okay? So, again, this is a trading market here until it isn't, okay? Now, buy and hold, I don't know, not so much about that. Again, NVIDIA is running up here nicely. You're up there 171 here. My QQQ is running up really nice here. So, again, we got to just see how this all going to shake out here. But, again, just watch that key level, that 23.112 on a closing basis. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here midday trading. We'll take a look here at some stocks, and we'll see what's going on. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.